Oh, I got you, Nick.
What are you doing?
Oh, this is a prank. What you gonna do about it, Mitch?
One of the biggest comedy legends in America, Kevin Hart, a man worth over $500 million, ruling the box office and spreading laughter everywhere he goes.
This is what y'all want.
I like it.
Kevin Hart. Hey. Party gonna start. Hey. Hey. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. Hey. Party gonna start.
But behind that smile hides a storm so wild, it nearly ended his entire career. A secret video spread across the world, a scandal that almost tore his empire apart, police sirens flashing at 4 a.m., Kevin running from the chaos, almost ending up behind bars. The twist, his own best friend betraying him, plotting to take him down for money. Kevin had everything. Fame, fortune, family, but in just a blink it all started slipping away. Hollywood once shouted his name with pride, but that same crowd was ready to cancel him overnight. So what really went down?
To do things that you wouldn't normally do, but you have to have an open mind to doing it. So, you know, when you go gorilla trekking, I was like, there has to be glass. I've never went to go see gorillas and there hasn't been glass.
Who pulled Kevin into the madness? Keep watching, because this story is just getting started, and what's next will seriously shock you. Kevin Darnell Hart was born on July 6, 1979, in North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a tough place filled with poverty, danger, and struggle. It wasn't a neighborhood where kids dreamed big.
You had no idea. You had no idea that I was coming here, Nick. And guess what, Nick?
What?
Guess what?
It was a place run by gangs, drugs, and violence. His father, Henry Witherspoon, battled a serious addiction and spent years going in and out of prison, leaving Kevin and his family to fend for themselves. There was even a moment when young Kevin saw his dad stealing inside their own home, a moment that froze him in fear. Police would break in, shouting, turning everything upside down, and that's when Kevin understood his father wasn't the hero in his story.
It's nothing you can do about it.
No, this is stupid. That was the worst performance ever on the history of this show.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, on purpose, Nick. I performed bad on.
In that darkness, the spark that would one day make him unstoppable was born. Only one person stood between Kevin Hart and the chaos. His mother, Nancy Hart, a single mom working 2 jobs. She was the true backbone of the family. She rarely smiled, but every word she spoke was like armor, shielding Kevin and his older brother, Robert, from the dark streets outside. Her tough love and unshakable discipline saved Kevin from becoming another name lost to crime. Kevin once said, "I make people laugh because if I don't, I'll cry." That line says it all. Growing up in North Philadelphia, he learned early that laughter was his only escape.
Purpose.
You embarrassed yourself.
No.
That was stupid.
No, I don't look stupid.
You look very stupid.
I don't look stupid. I look put together, Nick. There's nothing stupid about.
His weapon against fear, pain, and trouble. Comedy became his armor, his way to fight back against everything trying to break him down. When Kevin finally broke free from Philly's harsh streets, he found his safe zone, the comedy stage. But those early years, brutal. He performed as Lil Kev in small clubs, only to get booed off stage again and again. People even threw cups at him, mocking his heightened style. He'd finish shows embarrassed and go home broke, picking up shifts as a shoe salesman just to pay rent.
Me. You know who looks stupid?
Who?
You in that stupid jacket.
You ruined the freaking show. We was gonna come out, we bring everybody out, vote, deliberate.
But Kevin didn't give up. After all those failures, he realized something big. Copying other comedians wasn't working. So he flipped the script and made his life the joke. His strict mom, his dad's addiction, his small height, all became part of his act.
Let me, I'm trying to see if I have a little bit of care. Because I don't care. That's not my problem, that's your problem. This is me up on you now, Kevin Hart.
The crowd stopped laughing at him and started laughing with him. That's when Kevin Hart's career finally exploded in the early 2000s, mixing his raw truth with unstoppable energy that made the world take notice. Kevin Hart started grabbing attention with small but powerful roles. First in Paper Soldiers, 2002, then Scary Movie 3, 2003. Those early parts might have been short, but they let the world see his wild energy and quick-fire humor. Then came The 40-Year-Old Virgin in 2005.
One, you, nothing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kevin.
A tiny role that hit big. Even with just a few minutes on screen, Kevin's personality jumped out, leaving everyone talking about him. But the real game changer came in the 2000s, when Kevin decided he wasn't waiting around for Hollywood's approval anymore. He learned the ultimate rule. Control your own story. So instead of depending on big studios, he started producing his own stand-up tours and turning them into hit films. I'm a Grown Little Man, 2008, and Laugh at My Pain, 2011, proved his genius.
To my house for my birthday. You guys have one happy birthday, Kevin t-shirt. What am I supposed to do with this fucking line?
Laugh at My Pain was a monster success, pulling in over $90 million. It shattered the old idea that only tall or perfect-looking comedians could pack theaters. That one move turned Kevin into a superstar. Soon after, he started landing lead roles in massive hits. Ride Along, 2014, with Ice Cube made $134 million worldwide.
What you gonna do about it, Mitch? Yeah, you better get a headache. You better get a headache, homie. Oh.
Then came the Jumanji blockbusters in 2017 and 2019, racking up billions and locking Kevin in as a true A-list legend. His on-screen chemistry with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson became its own powerhouse brand. Every movie they touched turned into gold. But Kevin didn't stop there. He leveled up again, building his own media company, Heartbeat. Now worth hundreds of millions, Heartbeat produces comedy films, shows, and major entertainment projects.
That's my action star group chat. Me, Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Jet Li, we all talk.
You don't have any of their phone numbers.
I have every one of their numbers.
Do not have any.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Kevin Hart isn't just a comedian anymore. He's a business mogul sitting on a $500 million empire. Just when Kevin Hart was sitting on top of the world, the storm hit. And this time, it wasn't from the streets. No gangs, no violence. The trouble came from within. A cheating scandal exploded across the internet, and an extortion plot nearly tore his life apart. Kevin Hart almost lost everything he had built.
I do.
You barely have the Rock's
Yes, I do.
number. You
Bro.
barely have the Rock.
First of all, I say this and I say it respectfully, The Rock.
Back in 2003, when his career was still rising, Kevin married actress Torrey Hart. They were young, broke, and full of dreams. Together, they had 2 kids, Heaven in 2005 and Hendrix in 2007. A picture-perfect family, or so it seemed, but fame has a way of testing love.
Everybody keeps asking me, am I Dominican since I cut my hair? No, it's just, como te llamo? I could easily. Estoy nuera.
As Kevin's schedule got busier and the spotlight grew brighter, the distance between them started to show. Arguments, stress, and jealousy crept in until cracks formed in their marriage. Torrey accused Kevin of changing after fame hit, and he later admitted he was too young and reckless to handle everything. In 2011, their marriage officially ended, leaving their kids caught between 2 worlds, fame and family pain. Not long after, Kevin began a new chapter with model Iniku Parrish, later known as Iniku Hart. The two first met in 2009, and Kevin felt like she brought out his better side.
Memorial Day weekend, estoy nuera con lo que será. Yes. Everybody is asking. No, I'm black. That's crazy, right? It's because all these waves.
After years of dating, he proposed to her on her birthday in 2014. A moment straight out of a movie. 2 years later, on August 13th, 2016, they tied the knot in a stunning California wedding. Kevin proudly told the media, "I'm not going to lose this happiness." But just 1 year later, that promise shattered. And what followed became the biggest scandal of Kevin Hart's entire career. September 2017, the month everything came crashing down for Kevin Hart. A shocking video surfaced online, showing him with another woman in a Las Vegas hotel room. The worst part? His wife, Iniku, was pregnant with their first son, Kenzo, at the time. Hollywood went silent for a moment.
Have you had English chips, Kevin?
Yes, I have. I have had the chips.
There's like one English chip is like 10 American chips.
No, it's very big. It's unnecessary.
Everything is in there.
Yes, it's unnecessary, but I have had one of them. I got small hands, so it's tough. I don't eat that many. I don't eat that many, but I can't eat seafood. That's why I don't eat the fish.
You don't like seafood?
I can't eat seafood.
Seriously?
Yeah, get the hops. Why is everybody, why they get so quiet? So what? Jesus Christ, what just happened? He can't eat the fish. Get him out of London now.
Then the internet erupted with anger. The world that once praised Kevin as a loyal family man suddenly turned on him, labeling him a cheater. But the real heartbreak came from who was behind the scandal. His close friend, Jonathan J.T. Jackson, he was accused of trying to extort Kevin using that very same video, a betrayal that cut deeper than any online hate. In the middle of the chaos, Kevin took to Instagram, posting a raw video apology. No jokes, no smiles, just guilt and honesty. He said, "I made a bad error in judgment. I put myself in a bad environment where only bad things can happen. And they did. His voice carried the weight of regret as he apologized to his wife and kids for the pain he caused. In 2018, JT Jackson was arrested for extortion and accused of trying to sell the footage to the media. Kevin later revealed he had been under the influence that night in Vegas, saying he barely knew what was happening. That only raised more questions. Was it a setup or just a mistake gone too far? Then things got even messier. In 2019, model Montia Sabag filed a $60 million lawsuit accusing Kevin of secretly recording the encounter and leaking it to the public. The accusations tore through the media, and his marriage to Eniku started to crumble under the pressure. Just when it had barely begun, that was the moment Kevin Hart finally woke up, realizing that money, fame, and laughter mean nothing if you lose the people who truly love you.
Were you born in Hawaii?
I wasn't born in Hawaii. I was born
there.
in San Francisco, but I did a lot of my growing up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was amazing. I don't know. I don't think. No.
You told me.
I didn't. No, I told you.
swore you said.
I've known you for years. I've always said I was.
But when we were there, you gave me a big speech like, "This is my land." I started.
He had to face one harsh truth. The only person who could destroy his life was himself. So Kevin took action. He started marriage counseling, cleaned up his lifestyle, and cut off every temptation that once pulled him down. Family became his top priority no matter what.
Now all of a sudden, San Fran. That was San Fran that I transferred. When we were there, you gave me a very spiritual speech about how it all started. How your mother held you over this cliff.
Kevin even opened up publicly in his Netflix documentary, Don't Fuck This Up, showing the world that he wasn't running from his past anymore. Eniku, stronger than anyone expected, chose to stay. Not out of weakness, but out of love and her desire to protect their family. In 2020, they welcomed their daughter, Kaori My Heart, marking a new chapter of healing and forgiveness. But Kevin's story wasn't done testing him yet. Years before that scandal, he had already faced another dangerous moment. This time, not in a hotel, but on a highway.
This is the cliff where I was born and my mother gave me. You even sung a song. You were like, yeah, but I remember. I specific. We'll talk about it later.
Well, how the song go?
The song. You were like, Kuna Matana.
On April 14th, 2013, just before dawn, Kevin was pulled over in Los Angeles for suspected drunk driving. According to police reports, around 4:30 a.m., he was speeding down the 101 freeway in his black Mercedes, hitting nearly 90 miles per hour and swerving between lanes. At one point, he almost collided with a tanker truck. Police chased him down, and Kevin finally pulled over at Haskell Avenue. Officers said he showed clear signs of intoxication and couldn't finish the field test. The star of Think Like a Man was arrested and taken to Van Nuys Jail around 6 a.m. He was later released on $5,000 bail and ordered to appear in court that May, a harsh reminder that even at his peak, one wrong move could take it all away. Surprisingly, Kevin Hart didn't dodge responsibility. He faced it head on. Right after being released, he told TMZ, "I was drunk, that's it. There's nothing to argue about." Straightforward and honest. He also mentioned that his girlfriend had been in the car and got into a quick argument with the police about taking off his watch before they cuffed him, something that made it seem like he was resisting arrest. Not long after, Kevin took to Twitter to make light of the situation, writing, "When the cops asked me to take a sobriety test, I said, why waste our time? I'm drunk, man." Fans laughed, but the joke didn't last. A few hours later, he tweeted again, this time with a serious tone, "Drunk driving is not a joke. People lose lives because of stupid things like this. This is a wake-up call for me. I need to grow up." That was the real Kevin talking, the one who understood how close he came to disaster. One night of reckless choices almost turned into tragedy on an LA freeway. Thankfully, he walked away from that crash with just a lesson learned and a bruised ego. But Kevin knew luck like that wouldn't last forever if he didn't change his ways. The DUI became a wake-up call not just for him, but for fans who looked up to him. It showed that even the biggest stars can make dangerous mistakes, but what truly matters is owning them and turning things around. Yet just when Kevin seemed to be getting back on track, fate threw him another life-changing blow, the terrifying 2019 car crash that nearly left him paralyzed. This time, it wasn't a scandal or a bad decision. It was a fight for survival. In the early hours of September 1st, 2019, Hollywood froze as shocking news spread. Kevin Hart had been in a horrifying car crash. The 1970 Plymouth Barracuda he had just bought lost control on a dark Malibu road, swerving off the highway and smashing into a barrier with terrifying force. The wreck was brutal. Kevin and his friend who was driving were pulled from the twisted metal, both badly hurt. The crash left Kevin with 3 serious spinal fractures, injuries so severe they threatened to paralyze him for life. He was rushed into emergency surgery as doctors raced to save not just his mobility, but his life itself. Kevin described those moments as pure agony. Every breath felt like fire, every small movement like knives tearing through his back. But what came after wasn't the end. It was the toughest battle of his entire life. To recover, he had to endure months of brutal physical therapy, 6 hours a day, every day, just to learn how to walk again. Imagine that. The man known for his explosive energy and unstoppable presence suddenly trapped in a body that refused to move. Each step was a war, but Kevin refused to quit. The thought of never performing again haunted him, but it also fueled him to fight harder than ever. After staring down the possibility of losing everything, his career, his freedom, even his future, Kevin Hart came out the other side humbled, grateful, and ready to share his most vulnerable side with the world. In his emotional documentary, Kevin Hart broke down remembering the crash that nearly ended it all. Through tears, he admitted, "I wasn't supposed to survive that accident. That crash didn't just break his bones, it rebuilt his soul. It forced him to slow down, rethink his choices, and face how reckless he'd been." Kevin came out of it believing he'd been handed a second chance at life, a wake-up call from something bigger than himself. He told fans he had matured, changed, and truly awakened after surviving what he called a warning from God. But before he could fully celebrate his comeback, another storm hit. This time, not from real life, but from the internet. Old tweets resurfaced, dragging Kevin into one of his most controversial moments, the LGBTQ backlash. In 2018, Kevin was on top of the world again. He had just been announced as the host of the 91st Academy Awards, the Oscars. It was the ultimate Hollywood honor. But within just 2 days, everything flipped upside down. Old tweets from 2009 to 2011 were dug up, showing jokes and language that many found deeply offensive toward the LGBTQ community. One tweet stood out. Kevin joked that if his son ever played with a dollhouse, he'd break the dollhouse over his head. What was once meant as humor now hit hard, especially for those who saw it as hurtful and disrespectful. Social media exploded in outrage. Petitions began calling for his removal as Oscar host, and major LGBTQ groups spoke out publicly. At first, Kevin didn't apologize, saying he had already changed and wanted people to see who he was now, but the pressure kept rising, leaving him with no way to escape the storm. On December 7th, 2018, just 2 days after being named Oscar host, Kevin Hart made a shocking announcement. He was stepping down. In his statement, he said he didn't want to take attention away from a night meant to celebrate so many talented people. At the same time, he publicly apologized to the LGBTQ community, saying, "I sincerely apologize for my past insensitive words. I apologize for hurting people. I am still growing and will continue to do so." But the damage was done. Losing the Oscar gig was more than just a career setback. It struck at the heart of Kevin's public image. The man once loved for his energy, humor, and authenticity was now seen through a cloud of controversy. He deleted the old tweets, but the stain of the past couldn't be wiped away. His credibility, charm, and ability to connect with fans worldwide took a heavy hit. A few weeks later, Kevin appeared on talk shows explaining he was done apologizing. He said he didn't want to keep proving he was a good person, that he was moving forward and leaving the past behind. But even as he tried to move on, the past refused to let go. Fast forward to 2024, that same past came back like a storm. The public thought the 2017 scandal involving Montia Sabag was finally buried. JT Jackson, the former friend accused of extortion, had all charges dropped back in 2021. But in a shocking twist, Jackson filed a new civil lawsuit, not for extortion, but accusing Kevin of breaking their agreement, twisting the truth, and even faking evidence to frame him. Once again, Kevin Hart found himself back in the spotlight, not for his comedy, but for another courtroom drama that threatened everything he'd rebuilt. This was no longer just another Hollywood headline. It had turned into a full-blown legal war. The new lawsuit demanded up to $12 million in damages, and this time, the fight was personal. According to court documents, Kevin Hart and Jonathan JT Jackson had reached a settlement in 2021. The agreement required Kevin to post a carefully worded public statement, one that would clear Jackson's name, confirm his innocence, and officially close the book on the extortion scandal. But when Kevin posted a video on Instagram that October, things didn't go as planned. Instead of saying Jackson is innocent, falsely accused, and all charges are gone, Kevin simply said he wanted to move on and focus on the future. Jackson claimed this broke their deal, making it look like Kevin cared more about protecting himself than restoring his old friend's name. Jackson's lawsuit argued that Kevin's silence cost him everything: his reputation, job offers, and career opportunities. He said people still saw him as the guy who tried to extort Kevin Hart even after all charges were dropped, but it didn't stop there. Jackson also challenged one key piece of evidence, an email Kevin had once handed to prosecutors as proof of extortion. According to Jackson, that email was missing the original header and couldn't even be verified. Now, Jackson wasn't just demanding money. He wanted Kevin to publicly clear his name once and for all. He wanted a new statement declaring his innocence and explaining the full truth. As soon as the case went public, the media went wild, digging deep into Kevin Hart's past once again. The old 2017 cheating scandal resurfaced, and whispers about a fake extortion setup began spreading across social media. Reopening wounds Kevin thought had finally healed. People started asking tough questions. Was Kevin Hart really a victim, or had he been the mastermind all along? Suddenly, comedy couldn't save him anymore. The spotlight dimmed, and by 2024, things looked darker than ever. This wasn't just another setback, it felt like a fall straight off the edge. If Jackson won the lawsuit, Kevin wouldn't just lose millions, he'd lose something far worse: trust. And in Hollywood, losing trust is like a death sentence for your career. After surviving a near-fatal car crash and scandals that nearly ended him, Kevin refused to fade away. He came back, not just to make people laugh, but to prove that no matter how hard he falls, he'll always rise again. He once said it best through his actions: "I can fall as many times as life wants, as long as I stand back up one more time." Now Kevin Hart stands tall again, the man who climbed from chaos to the top. The kid who once struggled on tiny Philly stages is now one of the richest and most powerful names in Hollywood. As of 2025, his net worth is estimated between $400 and $450 million. That's not just money, it's proof of grit, hustle, and pure determination. Kevin's fortune flows from everywhere: blockbuster films, worldwide comedy tours, major brand deals, and his powerhouse company, Heartbeat Productions. In some years, he pulls in over $80 to $90 million, ranking among the world's highest paid entertainers. Unlike others who rely on studio paychecks, Kevin built his own empire. And the proof of that success, his luxurious estate in Calabasas, a massive compound surrounded by Hollywood's elite, where every corner screams how far Kevin Hart has truly come. Kevin Hart doesn't just own a house, he owns a compound, a massive connected estate he personally built and designed, turning it into his private kingdom. Inside, there's everything you can imagine: a luxury movie theater, a full gym, a sports court, a swimming pool, and even play zones for his kids. Every morning, Kevin wakes up not to studio calls or flashing cameras, but to the sound of his children laughing and racing through the yard. That's his real peace now. His lifestyle screams success, but stays true to who he is. When people talk about Kevin, they don't just mention his jokes, they talk about his jaw-dropping car collection. We're talking Ferraris, Porsches, and rare classics that car lovers dream about. And yes, the same 1970 Plymouth Barracuda, the car that almost took his life, still sits in his garage, perfectly restored. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder of survival and gratitude. But what truly separates Kevin from other Hollywood millionaires is his mindset. He's lived through rock bottom, betrayal, scandal, and near death. So he knows money isn't for bragging. It's protection. It's stability. It's the power to choose your own path and never go back to struggle again. Now Kevin Hart calls the shots. He picks his projects, sets his schedule, and controls his stage. No one else. His fortune isn't just wealth, it's his shield against hate, his safety net after failure, and his legacy for his kids who'll carry the Hart name forward. From a struggling comedian hustling in Philly's rough streets to a global icon sitting at the top, Kevin Hart built it all with heart, hustle, and unstoppable drive. Kevin Hart has finally found his anchor, his wife, his kids, and the home that keeps him grounded. Iniku Hart, the woman he married in 2016, is the heart of his world. Through scandals, pain, and moments that could have shattered their family, she never left his side. She stayed strong, silent, patient, and full of love, proving that real loyalty doesn't fade when the world turns its back. Kevin is a proud father of 4. His 2 oldest, Heaven and Hendrix, came from his first marriage, while his youngest, Kenzo, born in 2017, and Kaori, born in 2020, he shares with Iniku. Each morning, instead of chasing fame or checking scripts, Kevin wakes up to laughter and tiny footsteps echoing through the house, the sounds that remind him how far he's come and what truly matters now. Those moments help him forget the chaos, the scandals, and the nightmares that once haunted him. In one interview, Kevin said, "After everything, what I treasure most isn't the spotlight or applause. It's being home, being a dad, the man my kids can trust." That right there shows how much he's grown. Even with all the falls, the controversies, lawsuits, and public criticism, Kevin never stopped climbing. For most people, that kind of history would have been the end. But for Kevin Hart, it became the launch pad for a new chapter. In 2025, he shocked everyone by making a big return, hosting the BET Awards, proving that Hollywood still hadn't closed its doors on him. The spotlight leaned back his way, scars and all. And that same year, he dropped his brand new stand-up special, Kevin Hart, Acting My Age, released on November 24th, 2025, streaming exclusively on Netflix. In his new Netflix special, Kevin Hart didn't just crack jokes, he opened up about real life. He talked about growing older, facing responsibility, juggling family, and dealing with the pressure of time catching up. The laughs were still there, but they came with truth, raw, reflective, and real. The audience didn't just laugh, they felt every word. But Kevin didn't stop at stand-up. As 2024 rolled into 2025, his company Heartbeat Productions hit a rough patch when several top execs left. Instead of panicking, Kevin stepped in as CEO himself. He refused to let anyone else control his vision. He wanted his empire built his way, on his terms. Every time life knocked him down, Kevin came back harder. The man turned setbacks into stepping stones, creating, producing, and innovating nonstop. He proved failure isn't the end. It's just the next step up the staircase to success. Today, Kevin Hart isn't just a comedian or an entertainer. He's a man of responsibility, loyalty, and purpose. He's using his fame to give back, not just to make people laugh. Through his foundation, Help from the Heart charity, he's changing lives for young people who come from tough backgrounds, especially within Black and low-income communities. In 2018, through Help from the Heart, Kevin teamed up with the United Negro College Fund, UNCF, and KIPP Public Schools to create a $600,000 scholarship program, giving 18 KIPP students the chance to attend HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities. Even before that, he'd already been helping students through scholarships, opening doors for kids who dreamed big but didn't have the resources to get there. Kevin Hart didn't just build an empire, he built a movement. He's hosted fundraising events, charity shows, and used his fame to rally support for communities everywhere, from education and healthcare to families fighting just to get by. His reach goes way beyond comedy now. It's about real impact and legacy. A true icon of modern comedy, Kevin didn't just make it big, he changed the game. He redefined what Black comedy means not just in America, but across the world. From small bar stages in Philly to sold-out arenas and Hollywood sets, Kevin Hart fought his way to the top, earning global respect. In 2015, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world, a major milestone for his journey. Then in 2024, he reached another peak when he received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, one of the highest honors a comedian can earn. That award officially cemented his status as a living legend in comedy. Kevin's story isn't one of perfection, it's one of power, pain, and perseverance. From a tough childhood and endless controversy to near-death experiences, he's faced it all. But instead of letting it break him, he turned every setback into fuel to rise higher. Now Kevin Hart stands as a role model, an artist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist who turned laughter into legacy. He's opened doors for young comedians of every background and given hope to kids who start with nothing. He's proof that success isn't about never falling. It's about standing back up every single time. He's been mocked, canceled, and even rolled into an ambulance with a broken spine. Yet he kept going. And that resilience is exactly what's earned Kevin Hart the world's respect. It's not the sold-out arenas, the billion-dollar movies, or the garage full of supercars that define Kevin Hart. It's his unbreakable will to never give up. When the lights hit that 5'4" frame, no one sees a short guy anymore. They see a warrior who fought through pain, scandal, and near tragedy to stand tall again. They see a man who turned every setback into strength, a father who leads with love, and a businessman creating opportunities for hundreds of people. Kevin Hart rose from a rough childhood filled with chaos, battled through Hollywood scandals that could have ended him, and survived a car crash that almost took his life. But instead of letting the world write his ending, he wrote his next chapter. Every time he steps on stage, his laughter carries the story of survival, resilience, and redemption, proof that true success comes from standing up when life knocks you flat. He's more than just a comedian now. He's a symbol of drive, growth, and second chances. His story reminds everyone watching that no matter how deep the fall, you can still rise higher than before. From pain to power, from the streets of Philly to global fame, Kevin Hart's journey is living proof that strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle. So what do you think? After everything Kevin Hart has faced and overcome, does he deserve to be called a true legend? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss more incredible real-life stories, each one wilder than a Hollywood movie. See you in the next one.